So for today's drifting episode here, we have all our safety equipment on. We see we have our driving helmet on. Stormrunner? You know that's a diving helmet, not a driving helmet, right? The description said driving helmet, not diving helmet. It might be a little bit old technology, but I'm pretty sure it's a driving helmet. No, that's a diving helmet. You left out the R there. Oh, that explains a lot of the tubes on the back that we cut off before coming out here. Yeah. Oh, to keep us safe nonetheless. Anyway, now that we are powered back, welcome back to some more Stormworks. I'm Stormrunner Gaming, and today I thought since we are waiting for the Mega Update number 5 coming up this week on Wednesday, I was going to jump into something a little bit different, something I've been playing around for a little while now, here and there. It's more of a silly thing, but we can take basically almost any high-powered car in the game and make it drift. I don't know how exact the physics are from real life to Stormworks, but it seems to be working more or less. I've got a workshop creation here. I got a little while ago, and sadly I do not remember the name of the creator, but of course I will link it in that description down below. As well, if you guys did see the destruction video a few days ago, if you guys do want to pick up any of those destructible houses, you can. They are in the link of that video now, in the links part of the description. We're going to jump into taking this guy out now. And I've got a couple flares set up so that we can do some donuts around it, hopefully. I'm hoping more figure eights with some drifts in there, but I don't know. And then I'm going to show you guys what I'm actually using to get this thing to drift pretty well. And I have been playing around with the values here to try and get it to drift a little bit better. It is a little bit difficult to pull off though, but with a little bit of skill and a few rolled over cars, you can learn how to do it. Then again, I'm not a pro at it yet, but now that we actually have rolled the car, I can jump out here and show you guys what I've been doing to actually get these to drift pretty well. So as you know, if you guys have built any vehicles in game, you can play with the grip of vehicles, the vehicle tires basically, and change them around. And I've been doing a lot of different, I guess, pairs of grip between the front and rear tires here, making the front heavy on grip versus making the rear heavy on grip. And I've actually found if you keep them exactly the same anywhere, that'll give you the best result to pull off the best drift here. So I've just been using either 40 or 50% on this vehicle with a aircraft engine here, and it seems to be doing pretty well. I mean, it is a little bit difficult not to flip it over, as you guys just saw, but you can create some decently good sweeping drifts like this one. I'm surprised I'm actually pulling it off, but toggling, you have to toggle your throttle and the steering a lot, so it's not just that the vehicle can't do it, you actually have to have a little bit of skill to pull this off. There we go. Oh, no, I lost it again. And you will get a lot of those where the front tires will catch grip and you'll fly backwards and spin out basically during the drift. So it's a lot more of learning the tipping point. Oh, ooh, I had up on two wheels there for a second. But it's a lot about learning how far you can push it with the power and everything, and just toggling all of that before you flip over and keeping the drift on there. Now, close quarters drifting is a little bit more difficult, especially in Stormworks. And I haven't tried so much of it yet, but I am going to try a little bit more. But I do want to switch over the tire traction here to a lower number and slow down my engine a little bit so we don't get as much wheel spin, and hopefully it is a little bit controllable. Then again, I am just playing around with these values and everything. Real quick guys, while I am changing down a bit of the max power for the engine and everything, if you guys have played around with drifting in the game, made a car that's decently good with it, or are going to try it out, tell me your results down in the comments down below. I'm actually interested to see if you guys can get any better vehicles out there or anything. And sadly, this vehicle in front of me, I cannot post it to the workshop because it is not my creation, so I can't just change the the wheel friction and throw it up there. But of course, you guys can pick this up from the link down below in the description and modify the wheel traction to get your own drifter pretty quickly, so you can play around with it yourself. Anyway, we've got our engine running here. We can try out a little bit more drifting. I'm hoping a little bit less engine and less traction will be able to help us do... Well, that's actually working out a lot better. Wow. That is decently... I'm pushing the flare though. I forgot to put them static, but we are actually getting some half-decent close quarter drifts here with the much less powerful engine. As you guys can see, we're creating a lot of smoke, but it's actually decently controllable. I believe I had somewhere 30 to 35% traction on those wheels, and I decreased the engine power by a bit there, but it's definitely taking a bit of tweaking. But now that the engine doesn't have so much power, I'm just on the floor at the moment for the engine power. But the tires, as you can see them flying back and forth, well, I had to toggle the engine down there for a second. You can start to tell as you do the drifting in game a little bit more and more. If you're going to start to spin out, you can let off on the engine a lot. Oh, yeah, right there. You have to let off on the engine. Oh, we got another flare. I'm making the figure 8 here worse and worse for me. I've almost created like a too small. I might have too little horsepower here to pull this off, but it still is really fun. If you guys are interested, and I'm really interested to hear or not, I wonder if you guys like to see like a drifting race, like something like Tokyo Drift or something. Basically like a Stormworks drift type of thing going on. Some multiplayer. Then again, especially with the, I guess like the bad latency and everything of multiplayer, it might be a little bit worse to pull off some multiplayer drifting, considering the syncing of the server might be worse, especially for people not hosting the server. So their vehicles... I was playing around with the drifting in another person's server the other day, and it seems like the car would jump back and forth in different positions. So in a regular race, that may be fine, where you're turning and you jump maybe like a foot to the left or the right, forward or backwards. But especially when you're drifting and it has to be so precise in some aspects, I think that'd be a little bit harder to pull off. But I'm actually kind of happy with this result here. Although I'm having to do a lot of work to those wheels, I kind of want to push the power a little bit and see if this was my final result here. Alright, so I had my engine power at 75%, RPS at 25, and all the tires were set to 35 for that one. So that's some pretty good close range drifting there, but I'm going to push that engine power to 90% now. And I do also want to press that RPS up a little bit. Let's give it a 5 extra buffer there, so we get a little bit more power out of it, because I'm thinking I'm getting close to the sweet spot. And I mean, I don't have all the time in the world to test all the different variations we have out here, but it's seeming like this amount of power and traction is a good duo. Yeah, you see? I'm out of the gate drifting around corners. Then again, it might not be as precise as I want it to be. Hey, you see the tires? Oh, there we go. We spun it out already. I just got to get used to the different amount of power I have and everything. Because, of course, when you change around the build of it as well, you are going to change the controls of it and everything. So it's going to make it a little bit worse. Well, that's a pretty good drift there. We only got it for a few feet, but... maybe I will build a course out of flares or something, and we can get some multiplayer going on here. Or something like that in the future. Well, especially if multiplayer gets better, I'd love to do more races and stuff, but currently at the moment, we are waiting for it to get a little bit better in some aspects. But let's go for a decently wide drift here. Get it going. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty nice. We're having to correct it a little bit. I'm not getting too much into it. There we go. Now we're going. It's just a slight drift, which you can see. Nope. We didn't correct fast enough. So I'm definitely not so great at this. But yeah, I encourage you guys to go and check out some pretty cool drifting in game on your own time and see what you can get out of it. But of course, you can also do the iconic muscle car scene. some donuts with basically almost any car. You decrease the rear traction for the wheels and just turn it one way, and you got yourself some fresh cooked donuts here on the pavement. Although we don't leave any rubber here, you still have the trails and everything. That kind of looks like a weird upward spiral, and then again it is just smoke here. Anyway, we of course are looking forward to the updates going to be coming out Wednesday, so I'm definitely going to be jumping into that. I may do a live stream, I'm not entirely sure on that yet, but I'm super excited to see what they're bringing out for this next update and what we can do with it. But seems like I have run out of all my fuel here, and that is where I am going to end it. So of course, if you guys like this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel to stay up with Stormworks and more of my content. But I've never been great at goodbyes, my people need me, and I need to go.